and we're still spinning on the others. Okay, we are live. Hi, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Welcome to the Dragonfly live show.
We are alive.
So we're glad you joined us.
We hope you're alive today with us.
So guess what we're going to talk about today?
Probably something that has to do with cleansing.
Yes.
What kind of cleanse are we talking about?
We're going to talk today about material cleanse, and most people think it's just decluttering the clutter, but we're going to talk a little deeper than that in the Dragonfly 60-Day Transformation Program, which, by the way, is coming up in less than 2 weeks. September 22nd is the date that we start, which is a Tuesday, the first day of fall.
Fall also is when it starts.
Fall and fall. And so join us, because this is a fantastic transformational program that will truly change your life. But today what we're going to talk about is, and by the way, follow the Dragonfly if you're on our Facebook, Instagram, or Facebook and YouTube and Periscope account. Down at you'll see our website. You can click on the link. If you're on Instagram, go to our dragonflyayurveda.com website and you can sign up there. Also today I'm offering a freebie.
A freebie.
A freebie.
Who doesn't like a freebie?
A freebie. Okay.
Drum roll.
So let me show you how you can get your freebie. It's a little,
wait a minute. What kind of freebie?
It is a declutter. Glad you asked.
Yeah.
It's a Dragonfly Declutter Checklist. So since today we're talking about material cleanse, I've provided a nice little graphic on how to declutter your life.
Awesome.
Which is one of the little steps in this material cleanse. It's not all of it. It's just a part of it. And in the Dragonfly Transformation Program, this is week 3 that we start going into this and doing a material cleanse, and we dive into all the aspects of this, but we're going to touch on the highlights of it today.
And we are in the midst of a cleanse ourselves. We're pretty much through it. We have gone through our house.
Yes.
And we have decluttered.
It has taken us a long time.
And we're doing this in like 3 phases.
Well, not only that, is that we've had, unfortunately, the passing of your father, and then your mother we had to, unfortunately, she's in a nursing home with Alzheimer's. And so we've been clearing out their clutter as well, preparing their home.
62 years worth of clutter.
Yes, and they held on to everything. And we're going to talk about that and some psychology behind that.
What you be talking about my mom and dad?
So, well, we all do it. It's not saying anything bad. We all do it. But just to let you know, seeing if there is a comment there. Oh, by the way, leave comments. We love comments. So
if they're nice comments.
Yes. Yes. So we were talking about the freebie. So the Dragonfly. Yes. So if you'll go
now
to
we clarified what the freebie is.
Yes. If you'll go to our Dragonfly Ayurveda. So I'm looking at the Instagram feed right here. So up there, if you go to our Facebook, Dragonfly Ayurveda Facebook page, it's facebook.com/Dragonfly Ayurveda. Go in there, and while you're there, would you like and follow us, and then click the sign up button. There's a sign up button at the upper right hand corner. Click the sign up button, fill out the information, and you will get your download of the Dragonfly Declutter Checklist. And it's a little checklist you can use every month or every year, or whatever. It goes through every room of your house and helps you in getting organized and decluttering. And so we're going to talk on that just a bit.
Okay. Fun.
All right. So stop everything right now and just take a look all around you. So we're still working on it. So we're in our new office, and we're just trying to rearrange, and we still have pictures laying around that need to be hung. We are still in the process of doing all this. So we are trying to declutter ourselves, and believe me, we've thrown away a lot, and we still need to throw away a lot more.
We've given away, we've thrown away. The only thing we haven't done is burnt piles of stuff. But it's so easy to accumulate things that you think you need or things that you think you may need one day or 1 year or something like that. And you end up putting stuff in storage. You end up putting stuff in a shed. You end up putting stuff in tub. What are those plastic tubs? And it's like, geez, if you haven't used it in a year,
yes,
that's the guideline we're using. If you haven't used it in a year,
yes,
you can live without it.
Absolutely. If you haven't seen it in a year, time to get rid of it. So that's our philosophy. And we're going to talk about how to know if you should hang on to it. Like there's certain things that we haven't seen in a year, but they're precious to us. So
Pictures
those
of me.
are exceptions. Yes, pictures of you always. He had a glamour shot, by the way, that keeps appearing in like every nook and cranny that I have.
It doesn't keep appearing.
And he keeps going, do you want this?
Glamour
And
shot
I'm like,
30
no,
years ago because I was glamorous.
Yeah, in your head, but that's okay. You were quite glamorous.
I'm just holding on to it for somebody that might want it one day.
I didn't even have a glamour shot. Those are you that are, what was that in the 80s at that
yes.
glamour shot?
Yes.
So those of you that are our age or in your 40s and over,
yes,
maybe a little older than 40, you probably have a glamour shot. But I'm one that never had a glamour shot done.
You have to admit.
Yeah.
That's a beautiful picture.
Yeah. We should get that and show that to everyone.
We should.
He's got
next week.
The 80s
swoop.
You had a little more hair back then, so you could swoop it.
A lot more hair back then.
Swoop it a little better.
Anyway, we better get on with what we're supposed to talk about today, because we are trying to limit ourselves to fewer and fewer minutes as we go on here, because we don't want to lose you. We don't want you to listen for 10 minutes, 20 minutes, and then say, oh, this is a bunch of crap. They're just talking about stuff. So we do want to get into decluttering. So what started you in this process? What started you? What motivated you to do this?
Well,
was it something you read? Something you?
Yeah, it's part of Ayurveda. It's part of your environment. It's all about what feeds you, and your environment is feeding you. You can walk into your house, try to.
What do you mean by that?
So everything is food. So we generally think of food as like something we eat or drink, that is food. In Ayurveda, everything is food. So even the clothing, the sensation of the clothing touching your skin, it's important that it's a little knobby. So it's textured.
What is this texture called?
I don't know. It's rough. And so
I had shirts like this when I was like 5 years old.
Yeah.
And I saw this in the store and I thought, I like being 5. But I just like the way it feels.
So it has a little meaning to you.
It does.
So it feels good to you because it brought back a good memory.
Yes.
My 5-year-old self, that would not bring back a good memory, but that's all right. That's for another time.
You never had a good life till you met me.
Of course. And that glamour shot, that changed my life forever. But
it can change your life.
So just like the texture of your clothing, if that is food, you're feeding on it. It's a sensation that your body is reading, and it's affecting your doshas. So everything affects our doshas. So what I invite everyone to do is to take a step outside of their house and imagine that they've never been in their own home before. And then
it's hard to do,
but it can be done. And so walk into your house and see your house with fresh eyes and go through every single room and take a look as if you've never seen what you're looking at. What you've surrounded yourself tells a whole lot about you. And so taking a look at your environment and say, does this really say that tell people about me or who lives in this house? Does it tell an honest story, or is it so cluttered that it doesn't reveal who you are to the people that visit your home? So it's important.
Yeah.
So because when we are surrounded by clutter, it causes stress, and it's a low grade stress, and it's a constant stress, a stress that we become accustomed to, but don't even realize it's there. And when you clear out your clutter, you'll then begin to realize how
much crap you have.
And it feels so much better, and it clears out the energy, and it makes way for new things to come into your life, right?
Yes.
So one of the things that we do, or I always recommend, there's a I think she has a show now on Netflix or Amazon. One of the Marie Kondo, she has a book called, I wrote it down, The Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up. And so if you want a book that's going to help you and get rid of stuff and the psychology behind it, that's a real good book to read, is The Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up. It's a Japanese way of decluttering and organizing. And what it is that if you haven't seen something in a year, you go through every item in your house. Now, if you've got a lot of items, this takes a lot of time. So you go through every item in your house and you see, does this bring me joy? Is this a good representation of me and who I am at this point? Remember, if we have things, lots of clutter that we've held on to all of our life, we have evolved. And so these items that we have may not be a good representation of who we are today, right? And so we need to get rid of that stuff, because that stuff, the energy behind it, is creating more stress for us.
So what does that say about us?
So it says a whole lot. One of the things that that we know through psychology is that, like hoarders have a deep ingrained sense of lack, never having enough. And so they hold on to everything. In Ayurveda, we take that a little further and say that's a really deep-seated kapha imbalance. It goes into the chakras, the root chakras. And so you're looking at it from many different angles. Where's the imbalance? And it's multi-layered. And then where does this stem from? And then slowly adjusting that person to be able to mentally heal, because generally it's a psychological problem. So to heal whatever wound that is, and generally when you've got a hoarding problem, it's a deep-seated childhood issue, more than likely, of not getting your needs met at an early age. And so therefore you always have this feeling of lack. The flip side of this, and so we work on, in Ayurveda, we work on the emotional healing of that, the energetic healing of that. We look at the root chakras, because the root, the Muladhara chakra, is the seat of self-calm, or that feeling of lack. Also, what is it? Maslow's hierarchy of needs. It also follows into that, if you're looking at this from a psychological perspective. And so in Ayurveda, we look at it from all the perspectives, and then we start unraveling that onion and finding out what the root cause of that reason for hoarding. And then we heal that issue, and then we slowly start to then let go. This can be a long process, by the way. It doesn't happen overnight.
Sure.
So if there's mental, psychological issues involved, it's the reason why you're hanging on to stuff.
Yeah. It could also be spiritual.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yes.
Issues, spiritual concerns. Could be identity, a sense of identity by the number of or amount of belongings that someone has, whether it's junk or whether it's good. It says something about us, because a lot of people tend to base their part of their identity on what belongs to them and what they own.
Absolutely.
So it could be something as simple as that also, that simply needs an adjustment or needs to be overcome.
Yeah, when we're talking about materialism, it's interesting to take note that have you ever been in a situation where you acquired something material-wise that you really wanted? And we'll say like a new car. You finally get this car that you wanted, or a house, whatever it is. You finally get it, and in the end, it causes you more stress. Because along with that car, now you're worried about somebody denting your car or scratching your car or taking care of your car. You've got to insure your car. You also got to pay the payments on your car. And then, of course, the insurance that comes along with protecting that car. So all this stress is added on to this material thing that you thought you had to have. And so we ask in Ayurveda, before you purchase anything, why do you have to have that? Is it something that's truly going to bring you joy, or is it something that's going to add more stress to your life? So pretty interesting, isn't it?
Yeah,
like today, I rode my bike. I do a beautiful ride. We live in Florida, by the way, and I rode one of the islands this morning. It's a little 25-mile bike ride. It's so beautiful. I ride right by the ocean, but along with that, there's all these beautiful mansions on the ocean. And I ride by them thinking that, oh, that's so beautiful. That's so beautiful. But most of the time, all these beautiful mansions have the big walls and gates up. And I see all this protection, all this trying to protect what you have. And to me, it represents a lot of stress. And I'm like, that would be wonderful. But I see a lot of stress behind having all of that too, because you got to protect it and insure it and upkeep it and along with that. So there's something, I love this minimalism movement that's really big right now. I'm really trying to move my life into minimalism and getting rid of what we don't need and simplifying. Just simplify your life to create room for the new.
Does that mean you're going to stop buying yoga pants and shorts?
No. Remember,
boxes and tubs of yoga pants.
So in the Dragonfly 60-day transformation program, what we do is we do a little exercise. We do many exercises in there. But one of the things when it comes to your environment, we say, so we teach you how to cleanse your environment. And then we sit down and now what do we do with the cleansed environment? We want to make it a good representation of who you are, and if you're married like we are, who we are. And so I have lots and lots of books. I love books. It's a good representation of me, but I've cleansed my books because I'm like, does that represent who I am now? And are those the type of books that we want around it? He's laughing. I don't know why, but and you get rid of your glamour shots because that's not who you are
one
anymore.
Glamour shot.
And so my point is that once you've cleansed, and it's not a one-day process. We've been cleansing our home for 3 weeks now, and we're still cleansing. And so it's a deep process of cleansing and getting rid, because just when you start clearing out stuff, you find more stuff. So we're cleaning out our shed, we're cleaning out our home, we're cleaning out his parents' home, and so it's a lot of stuff to clean out. But it's all about what brings you joy and what's a good representation of you. So once you get the cleanse of your home, the material cleanse done, then there's another step we take a look at. And by the way, I wanted to also add on to that, when we hoard onto a lot of stuff, then it's interesting because it's also could be a representation of fear of the future. If you got a lot of stuff in your house that's from your past, it could be maybe a sign. Everything is revealing. Everything you have in your house is revealing about you. And so use each item to teach yourself about yourself. So if you've got a lot of things that are from the past, perhaps you're afraid of moving into the future.
Or also an attachment to the past.
So
that has nothing to do. That statement has nothing to do with my glamour shot, though. It's just a good looking picture. That's what I know.
Yes, it is. It's glamorous.
Well, it's one of the only pictures of me that I have. But needless to say, let's not talk about the glamour shot anymore. but holding on to a lot of things can be an attachment to the past. And when we're attached to the past, we'll never really experience the fullness of now or the future.
Present. And if we're not living in the present, then we aren't really living, right? Because that's all that matters, is being in the present.
Yes, something else is that
I'll show it next. We're getting a request to see this glamour shot, so
I'll go get it.
We'll make it your profile picture.
I'll go get it. Yes. I had a really deep thought, and Tammy Millen, you just screwed it up for me. I don't remember what I was going to say, but it was good.
We were talking about the fear of the future, maybe an attachment to the past. And then, so once we go through that, and again, this can take months for some people, depending on how deep seated it is and how much stuff you've accumulated, and allowing that process to happen, going slowly and taking your time, because there's a lesson in every item you have. There's a lesson.
Yeah.
So
I know you're looking at me like I'm off in La La Land, and I'm trying to remember what I was trying to say. Timmy, it's your fault.
Poor Timmy, you're getting blamed for everything, right?
Anyway, we have to, we just can't live in the past. We do tend to hold on to good and bad from the past. Sometimes we hold onto the good for the wrong reasons, as well as holding on to the bad things for the wrong reasons as well.
Mm-hmm.
So we can think of something that we're holding on to, that maybe that was the best time in your life, or the best memories, or the best phase of your life. And what you're doing by staying in that mindset is you're preventing the best that could be from coming to you.
Yes.
That's what I was thinking of saying.
Perfect. Excellent point. So yes. So the next step is, once we cleanse our crap out of our house, we take a look again at our environment, and we say, is this a good reflection of who we are? And then, so remember, human nature, and I'm really guilty of this. I see a blank wall or a bare spot, and I want to fill it with something, right? It's my need to fill the space. And do you know how, and this is a really good example, you know how good it feels? I think this is why people like to go on vacation so much, is you go into somebody else's, like if you're renting a beautiful home, or even a hotel room, you walk in and there's no stuff around. It's just clean and bare, and there's no stuff hanging around, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it feels good. And I think that's another reason why people like to escape from their homes to go on vacation, not only for the experiences of traveling and enjoying, but to get away from their own stuff. And it is a subconscious thing. You don't even realize it.
Yeah.
All right. So once we go into all those layers and clean out your environment, then we want to take a look and say, now, what do you want to fill your environment in that's a good representation of you? And in Ayurveda, we use a technique called Vastu Shastra. And Vastu is an Indian Feng Shui. There's a whole art. You can take courses on this. I'm going to recommend a book, by the way, when we get done here, on ways you can use Ayurveda to make your environment beautiful and nurturing to you, because your home is your sanctuary. It should be your safe place where you go to and escape from the crazy of the world. And mentioning the crazy of the world, if your home is filled with a television going all the time, that is not a peaceful environment. If it's on the news or anything that's going on, if you're looking at your phone. And by the way, I watched a show yesterday, didn't even watch all of it. It's just like, it just confirmed everything I already knew. That Netflix has a show called this dilemma, social media dilemma, or the dilemma of social media, social dilemma. Watch it. It will show you how we're all being manipulated and programmed using psychology to get us to stare at our devices more. And so I think this is extremely important. I think it's extremely important, because I have never, and I think most of us feel this way, that never felt so lonely ever with people. There's no real connections anymore. How often do you go to a restaurant and everyone's looking at their phones and no one's visiting? And the child sitting under, I rarely see a child these days at a restaurant that isn't sitting and watching a movie and not communicating with their parents and other kids. And so we are in some really challenging times, and we can use Ayurveda to return to ourselves, to return to peace. Also, this dilemma has created an astronomical increase in anxiety and depression. And please watch this movie. It's going to reveal to you maybe some reasons why you might be experiencing some of it. And it's also created this feeling of the world seems crazy right now.
The world is crazy right now.
It's not crazy. It's the illusion of craziness. And it's this idea that we've all are being manipulated. So cleanse your house of that.
Okay.
Make your house a very special and sanctuary environment.
So we can cleanse each. We need to get back to this.
Mhm.
So we need to cleanse each room.
Yes.
The porch, the patio, the lanai,
Mhm.
the pool area if you have a pool area, the shed or 2 sheds or 3 sheds or whatever you have, the garage.
And I have a little checklist here that will show you, if you'll follow those instructions, it's a beautiful little download. It's an instant download of how to cleanse those areas.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
So then we can enter our home and walk into a sense of peace.
Yes.
But each room could have its own energy and its own sense of feeling or emotion.
Yes.
Or whatever. So let's talk about the important room.
The bedroom?
The bedroom.
Yes, I knew that would be the important room.
It's always the important room.
So in Ayurveda, we say every room has, like, there's colors that you can use that are specific for those rooms that enhance the environment. Again, we also break it down to your particular doshas and what it is that resonates with you. So is your home filled with stuff that is a good representation of you? If you are a stranger and you walked into your own home not knowing who you were, does this person get a good idea of who you are? Does that make sense?
A lot of people don't know who they are.
Well, that's true. And that goes back to that social media thing I was just talking about. Watch it.
Anyway.
So let's talk about the bedroom. So one of the things that you can do in this Vastu, which is an ancient Indian art, it's all in the Vedas, the ancient Indian scripts that the Ayurveda stems from. It's Indian knowledge that they believed was divinely downloaded. So one of the things you can do is, place rose quartz. And if any of you are familiar with gemstones, uncut raw rose quartz is a beautiful thing to have in your bedroom. You can place it in all 4 corners of your room if you're wanting to attract love. And really, if you're a married person, you want to attract love at all times in your bedroom, right?
Everywhere.
It should be a loving place. Your bedroom should be nice and nurturing. Also, replacing old sheets with rose-colored sheets. Now, I know we have white sheets on our bed because I like to bleach them and all that. So if you prefer white sheets, put some rose-colored something accents in there. We're talking more about accents.
Like throw pillows?
Yes, throw pillows or candles or whatnot. And so the other thing is scents, candles, and essential oils. Did you know rose opens the heart?
I did know that.
Yeah, you did know that.
Why do you think I put at the yoga studio? I always wanted to put rose scent in the infuser.
So I love the scent of rose, and rose calms pitta. So if you're feeling a little bit angry or irritable, smelling the scent of rose is a beautiful thing to help cool that pitta down. So it's a good thing. Neroli is calm and relaxing.
What is neroli?
Neroli is a flower as well, and it's a calm and relaxing. So essential oils of neroli, or if you have candles that are made from essential oils, burn those. They're lovely. I personally I love candles, but I love to diffuse essential oils because I love the medicinal properties of them. Lavender enhances well-being. So you can use a combination of all 3 of those scents, or just one single note, whichever. But those are 3 good scents to have in your bedroom to create a sense of love, nourishment, and well-being.
Okay.
So red. Let's talk about the color of red. Red is associated with the color of passion, right? So it's revitalizing the physiology. Did you know that?
No.
Revitalizes the physiology. And it's a wonderful color to have in your bedroom.
What does my truck do for me?
I don't know. He just recently bought a red truck, and he's in a red bike. So everything's red now. It's beautiful. I love the color of red. Color of red is passion. Some people can associate, seeing red because they're angry. That's a pitta. Pitta is generally associated with the color of red, but color is also passion. And so cooling that pitta down into passion and channeling that forward into a love and passionate And red also enlivens the base chakra. We talked about that earlier about cleansing if you're holding on to a lot of stuff, and it could be a Muladhara root chakra issue imbalance. And so red is the color of that chakra. Did you know that?
No.
Yeah, you should have.
Where's that chakra located?
It's located at the tailbone, around the tailbone perineum area.
The red area. Okay.
Yeah, so we'll not go there. And so the longest wavelength and lowest frequency of all colors is red.
Wow.
So I thought that was kind of interesting.
So what does that mean?
Well, it can mean a number of things, but we'll move on. So depression and fear. This can decrease depression and fear.
Red can.
Red. So wearing the color of red when you're feeling down or fearful can embolden you and help you. Doesn't cure it. I'm not saying it cures it. I'm just saying it can help you. If you're having a blue day, like you wake up in the morning, you're like, I just feel kind of sad today. Look for some red to put on. See if that helps you. All right. It also increases enthusiasm and stimulates energy.
Awesome.
Yeah, pretty awesome.
All right. So back to the download.
Yes.
Let's go back to that because we need to wrap things up here.
All right. So if you're on Instagram, you're not going to see it. Go to Dragonfly Facebook, Dragonfly Ayurveda. Then click on, while you're there, click on like and follow, and then click on the sign up. When you click the sign up button, you're going to automatically get some information to fill out, just simple, and then click the download button and you'll get your free Dragonfly Declutter Checklist. I think
Awesome.
You'll like it. It helps simplify your life, and I would say run many copies off it and use that to cleanse your house.
All right.
And then, so I want to recommend a book here that I've been referring to. It's called The Way of Vastu by Michael and Robin Mastro. They have a beautiful website. They also have courses on Vastu Shastra. You can actually become a practitioner of Vastu. And there's a whole science and a way to set up your home to make it as nurturing as possible for you and make it your sanctuary.
So remember, during the 60-day Dragonfly Transformation Program, we actually go into the cleanses, experience the cleanses together as a group and as a team. And if you haven't considered it, please consider joining and being a part of the next cleanse, the fall cleanse coming up again in less than 2 weeks. We'd love to have you be a part of it. And we need to go ahead and close this out. Is there anything else that you need to touch on quickly before we head out? Just ignore Timmy.
No, I was looking at, was there anything else? Here is the Dragonfly Transformation Fall Cleanse, starts September 6th. It's sign up quickly because we're going to fill up and we want you to have your spot because it's truly life-changing.
So as we close this out, I want to close out today a little differently. I want to, when I teach yoga, I always close out with the same blessing. And so I want to speak a blessing over us, over you, as a thank you for being here with us and joining us today. As we close this session out, I want to speak blessings of love, joy, peace, physical well-being, abundance of all things that you need, and the spiritual awareness to know who you truly are and your significance, your value, and your purpose in life. Namaste.
Namaste.
Thanks for joining us.
Bye.